Thank you, Vice President Hanna. Thank you, Hugo. And a very special thank you to our musical accompaniment by ERB. They're great. Thank you also to the wonderful team of staff, faculty, students, alumni, and volunteers who've made today's ceremony possible. I'd also like to acknowledge the 3 members of RISD's Student-Run Design Guild who designed this year's materials: graphic design seniors Li Huang, Min Aaron Kim, and Nadine Makupagul. And a warm welcome to all of you gathered here today to celebrate Rhode Island School of Design's 142nd commencement and the class of 2025. Greetings to RISD's co-chairs of the Board of Trustees, members of the board, staff, faculty, librarians, curators, honorary degree recipients, alumni, friends, and families. It's wonderful to gather and celebrate the accomplishments of RISD's graduating students. I want to congratulate all of you. I would especially like to acknowledge the parents, caregivers, family, and other beloveds who've supported the graduates, providing them with advice, insight, and encouragement, even when many of you may not have understood exactly what art school is, what it could uniquely offer your child, what might be possible with a degree from art school. For many of you parents and families, particularly those of you who are not artists and designers, you stepped out on a limb, faith-filled, that your child had a deep well of wisdom that was calling them to this powerful place. You've been instrumental in their arrival here. When I'm out in the world and meet parents and caregivers, to the person, you express to me how thankful you are that your child, often the kid in high school who was a bit on the periphery of things, who often didn't quite jibe with the other students, who saw things differently, who doodled in meetings and classes when everybody else was, I don't know, doing less interesting things. These young people persisted in their belief that RISD was the place for them. And then they got here and exhaled. And you heard from them, "I found my peeps, I found my place." And they began to bloom, and bloomed they have. Indeed, RISD is precisely where artists, dreamers, and makers converge, leaning on and into each other, pushing each other to innovate, sharpen, and grow. You have trusted your children enough to loan them to us, and in so doing, you also are now part of this incredible community of humans that believe in the power and necessity of artists and designers, that power more important now than ever before. So I and we thank you, parents and families. We are living in a moment of significant historical importance, and context matters, as do the footsteps which we all follow and the histories which are unfolding. Students, brilliant ones, many of you have heard me say that artists and designers matter, that you are the people who envision new ways forward, enable the human project through beautiful, functional interventions, that you are the people who inspire and who give voice and value to the unspoken realities of our lives. I've sometimes called you, the group of you, sparks on the precipice of ignition, and I have asserted that combined, you are fire. That is and remains true, so I want to speak to the ways in which the fact of you, your fire, your collective matters. These are troubling times, and while I know you'll leave this campus armed with the skills and habits of mind and action that will ensure you can accomplish your aspirations, I also hope for you to leave this campus thinking about, mulling over, gnashing on two principles which have guided my life, provided succor when I was sorrowful, ballast when I was adrift, and light when around me was darkness. The first guiding principle is this: human endeavors and humans are better, stronger, wiser, smarter, cleverer, bolder, more insightful, more innovative, more exciting when we, our groups, our communities, our institutions are comprised of people from all regions of the world, from all viewpoints, all ways of thinking, ways of making. RISD is a place where many languages and religions, cultures, and art and design traditions converge. And because of that, RISD is a place where ideas cannot stagnate, but are challenged, contradicted, developed, and deepened. This is uncontestable. The differences between us are one of our most enduring and defining strengths. Where there is human difference, curiosity thrives. And where curiosity thrives, learning emerges and expands. And where there is expansion in humans, intellectual, emotional, moral, cultural, philosophical, progress is achieved. To the members of our international community, you, in this group, hail from Armenia, Australia, Belarus, Canada, China, Cuba, France, Germany, Guatemala, Haiti, Hong Kong, India, Iran, Israel, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Kenya, Korea, Kuwait, Netherlands, Pakistan, Peru, Romania, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, Singapore, Spain, Sri Lanka, Sweden, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom, Vietnam, Zimbabwe. You are and will forever remain beloved and valued members of RISD. One of the great strengths of this cherished institution is the world's great art traditions. Art and design traditions are represented in the form of our faculty and, importantly, students who bring the world into studios, into crits, and into the future as artists and designers will define it. This mutuality, this call to learn as a collective, to innovate as a collective, is part of our enduring strength, both as an institution and as artists and designers. The guiding principle, brilliant ones, is this: continue to surround yourself with people from all walks of life, from places and from all things, and yours will be a profoundly rich, exciting, expansive journey. The second guiding principle is predicated upon a quote that I hold dear to my heart. In 1949, before many of us in this room were born, theologian Howard Thurman wrote, quote, "It is never to be forgotten that one of the ways by which men measure their own significance is to be found in the amount of power and energy other men must use in order to crush them or hold them back." Thurman was speaking about the African American plight in this country. But those words remain relevant today in many ways. Thurman offered those words in the context of a world, an era in which, in that year, NATO was formed, Germany was divided into East and West, the People's Republic of China in those years was established, and more broadly, the civil rights movement in the US was gaining momentum, and importantly, the Red Scare and McCarthyism here in the United States was gaining steam, which required loyalty oaths and blacklists and investigations of suspected communists in government, academia, Hollywood, and the arts. Which brings us to this moment, brilliant ones, and why Thurman's statement matters to you. So I want to summarize what I have extracted from that statement. What Thurman said was, the power of a people, in this case, the power of artists and designers, can be measured by how much strength and energy others use to hold them back. Some of you, brilliant ones, are uncertain about your next steps. Does your work matter given the scope of turbulence in the world? Despite the level of mastery your faculty has deemed to be excellent and worthy of your degree, some of you will soon walk across this stage feeling unprepared. Others of you feel prepared but confused, and yet others are feeling hopeful, curious, invigorated by the unknowns before you. These feelings are all normal, and in fact, they are common. This is a truism of nearly every graduate I have met, and I've met many. But today, your uncertainty may feel more intense than is typical, because what is also true is that you are entering a world in which, in this country and others, our enduring cultural institutions and knowledge sanctuaries and funding mechanisms, places like the Kennedy Center, the Smithsonian, the National Endowment for the Arts, the National Endowment for the Humanities, our museums and libraries are being systematically endangered. And all of this is cause, of course, for collective dismay, and especially so for those of you who are just emerging into the world and into this complexity. But again, I would remind you what Thurman said, that the power of people can be measured by how much energy others use to hold them back. So it is in this context that we see the true power of art and design. The arts have been and always will be the most significant catalyst for social, cultural, and political change and for personal evolution. And what that means, brilliant ones, is that you matter. Your work matters, whether you are an overtly culturally or socially engaged artist and designer or not. Your work endeavors matter, your inventions matter, your interventions matter. You, as a collective and as individuals, are powerful. The proof point resides in his summary that you can measure the power by how much others are trying to obscure and hold them back. So, storytellers, weavers, architects, dreamers, painters, dancers, directors, musicians, writers, makers, solution seekers, sculptors, printmakers, illustrators, furniture and jewelry makers, animators, speakers of the secrets of the heart. This is a time to stand up with pride and with purpose in power. It is not a time to get it twisted or to miss the assignment. Your collective, the collective of artists and designers you have been in and among, the collective of artists and designers into which you now emerge, you are all the light in the darkness. We trust that you will go into the world, powerful as you are, brilliant as you are, and light it up. Congratulations.